This is Perp back with another video, and man, just got done watching From Season 2, Episode 8. A lot went down, a lot got revealed, and man, these next two episodes are going to be a doozy. So, with all that being said, let's dive into this. I don't want to waste any more time, because we have a lot to talk about and a lot to kind of pick through with this episode, starting with Kenny and his mom, where it seems like a normal day. Mom's just cooking, and then Kenny's like, can I help? And then all of a sudden, Kenny makes the same look I make whenever somebody's house phone goes off, because it's like, why the fuck do people have house phones? That shit scares the fuck out of me. Anyways, and then all of a sudden, there's this creepy, distorted voice. I forget exactly how it went, but it rhymed. Something comes in threes, whatever. Very creepy shit. Then all of a sudden, the pot, whatever Kenny's mom was cooking, starts to boil, and then there's like these cicadas that just start popping up, and one of them lands on Kenny and wakes him up, and it's a fucking dream. I'm like, oh my god. That shit was pretty crazy. But then he wakes up, he sees that there's a burn mark on some Freddy Krueger shit. Like, now it seems like with Elgin's kind of almost drowning in his sleep, it's like now they could be attacked in their sleep now, which is fascinating to kind of think about and fucking terrifying. So then we cut over to Jim and Randall, and Randall is such a fucking rat, bro. I was almost on Randall's side, but then he had to go do some fuck shit. We'll get into that. But him and Jim are kind of talking, and Randall does make a good point. Or, maybe he's kind of just not all the way there in the head. But he has this theory that maybe there are some people that are in on it. Because Jim was kind of trying to use his drone to be able to get a signal out to the outside world, but it only goes so high. But then Randall starts asking a bunch of questions like, how long have you known certain people? Have you ever seen anybody die? Which is a good question, because we've never really seen any of the monsters actually kill anybody. So Randall thinks that possibly the people that are getting killed are in on it, and maybe Sarah actually killed her brother. And it goes to Jim's theory, like they're just kind of trying to push people's buttons to see how far they're going to go. Man, does that shit is interesting. We'll get back into that. But then we get Jade and Tabitha going to the tunnels, and Jade is just starting to kind of really unwind and be really impatient. And Tabitha reveals something about Victor knowing about these symbols, and Jade's like, what the hell? He knew about this the whole time and he didn't tell me? So that's very interesting. Victor also has a lot of things to be revealed in this episode as well. We'll get to that. But Boyd, he is trying to figure out exactly how to use this bile. This bile is very significant. Well, they think it is until they can test it. They don't know how they're going to be able to test this without, using up too much bio or something like that. They could possibly use it for a weapon, but they're going to need more of that. They're going to eventually run out. This is where Elgin gets the idea, why don't you just make silver bullets and just coat the bullets in the bio, which is very smart. Still don't know if it's going to work or not, but it's worth a try. Now going back to Victor wanting to hang out with Ethan, trying to open up more. You start to see Victor gradually start to kind of open up more. He even gives Ethan a coat because he notices it's getting colder, which I made note of this, that he says the weather is kind of changing, the leaves are falling, so it's definitely they're probably gonna enter into like a winter, you know what I'm saying, because with low resources, you can't grow nothing, so things are going to be even more tense if it ends up getting colder and colder and it starts to snow. You can't grow nothing, and it's just going to make things worse. But what's interesting about this whole, you know, back and forth as, you know, Victor goes along with Ethan to the diner to kind of help out Kenny's mom, Jade comes in there and just completely ruins the mood. But it's perfect that Tabitha is the one to kind of talk to Victor. And throughout this whole entire episode, we see all these flashbacks of him as a kid. And it makes sense, though, like I said, with Tabitha talking to him, because she is a mom. She knows how to, like, talk to him, not talk to him aggressively. And, you know, she's just trying to figure certain things out. But what gets revealed is that, you know, Victor doesn't want to remember, because every time he remembers, or anybody tries to escape or think about escaping, it doesn't end well for them. People end up dying, he says, or just they end up disappearing. And the pictures are very key. And you see that throughout the whole entire intro and stuff, that these pictures are key to what happens, or these are certain memories that he doesn't want to remember. There are certain memories that he drew that him and Tabitha go to find. But let's go back to Boyd and company and Kenny, as that whole scenario with the cicadas in Kenny's dream comes back, where you see Christy's girlfriend or fiance, Marielle, she's fucking withdrawing. She's fucking tweaking, bro. She's tweaking. And says she's hearing noises and in the basement. So Boyd and Kenny go to check that out. And then next thing you know, it's a bunch of cicadas that are swarming the dead body of one of the monsters. And Kenny reveals, like, yo, I saw this in my dream. And that's why, like I said earlier on, that now it's like some Freddy Krueger shit, that now that they can be touched in their sleep or affected in their sleep, which is very terrifying, that, like, you're not even safe when you sleep, you know? And then Donna is so funny, because she comes in at such the wrong times at every given moment. Throughout this whole episode as well, you have Sarah trying to just find her purpose. And while she's trying to do this and do that, you know, she just doesn't feel she doesn't feel like she belongs anywhere, and she just wants to go do something. And you have her just chilling in the church, and all of a sudden Randall and Jim come in there and try to talk to her. Jim tries to just do it the calm way. Randall's like more aggressive. Donna walks in before they can go any farther, and you know, Randall starts to ask about her brother, and just like, is he still alive? You know, did you really kill him? And before that can only go any farther, you know, Donna kind of splits that whole thing up. She walks into the weirdest moments, you know, like the most awkwardest moments. Same thing when she pulls up to the clinic and sees that, you know, Boyd has been keeping this whole thing a secret about this monster. And she's like, yo, why didn't you tell me about this stuff? We need to communicate. And Boyd tries to show the body with all the bugs, but the bugs are gone. And Boyd is just like, how is that possible? Because it's like, we closed this door. So maybe that's just foreshadowing. That could be a possibility, like, for things to come later down the line. Because later in the episode, you see somebody coming out of, like, I think it was Sarah's old house, covered in blood. Don't know why, but it's interesting. But this is where things get even more interesting. As Boyd and Kenny go to burn, you know, Mr. Smiley's body, Donna gets caught lacking by Randall and gets tied up to a tree. Jim sees this, and Jim's like, what the fuck are you doing? This is how the episode ends. But the more important thing is where Tabitha and Victor go. They go to that whole where all the cars are at, and there's these specific pictures that he has that he does not want to remember, but he wants to help out as best that he can, and Tabitha is able to kind of get him to open up even more. And what gets revealed is Victor had a fucking sister this whole time. Now, she probably obviously is dead, but more importantly, the lighthouse comes back into play, where his mom went to go to the lighthouse to save all those kids, and those are the kids that Tabitha has seen. So that is so fucking crazy right now. There's a lot of interesting moving pieces, and I'm curious to see how it's all going to unfold with these last 2 episodes of the season. I don't know if Donna is going to end up dying. It would be pretty crazy. Maybe Jim's gonna have to step up and take out Randall and feed him to the monsters or something like that. But things are getting tense. Got a lot of reveals, a lot of like interesting things that are happening with these characters, as far as just ever since the worms, and everybody's kind of seeing the music box now. Elgin's seeing the music box. I think Kenny saw the music box as well, but there's going to be a couple people that die. I think that Marielle is a goner. I think something really tragic is going to happen. Also, Ellis wasn't able to tell Boyd that Fatima is pregnant, which, you know, I think that's going to be a setup. Maybe Fatima is going to bite the dust. I don't know, man. There's a lot of things going on. It's foggy too, which I picked up on. I've never seen fog in this place, that thick of fog. But let me know how you guys feel about this in the comments below. Till next time, I will see y'all in the next video. Peace.